During a blackout, my wife had no idea I came home early. In the pitch dark, I heard her tell our neighbor, "Once the insurance comes through for his accident next month, you and I can finally be together." I heard their wine glasses clink as they toasted to my death. I didn't say a word. I just slipped back out, came home later with a flashlight, pretending to be surprised to find them together. Ellie and I have been together 8 years, married for 6. We met at a New Year's party back when people actually still did that. Things haven't always been perfect. Our relationships had its highs and lows. Lately, that spark just hadn't been there. I assumed that was normal in long-term marriages. Our neighborhood's been dealing with rolling blackouts thanks to some grid repairs or whatever. Usually not a big deal. The lights cut for a few hours, you flip a switch, and it's back to normal. Last month, Ellie started pushing to increase. My life insurance said we needed to be prepared. Sounded reasonable at the time. The water heater was busted, the roof still leaked from the last storm, and money's been tight. I didn't think twice before signing the paperwork. Upped it to $500,000. Eduardo moved in next door after his divorce about a year ago. He seemed decent, always borrowing tools or needing help with little stuff. Looking back, I probably didn't need to help him with half of it. Ellie started inviting him over for dinner, said she felt sorry for him. But she'd get all done up for those meals, way more effort than she ever made when it was just the two of us. Huge red flag I ignored. Last Tuesday, another blackout. Was scheduled around 6 p.m. I happened to head home early. Plans with a buddy got canceled. My phone was nearly dead, so I didn't bother texting. I got home around 5:30, just as the power went out. Our garage doors busted, so I parked on the street and entered through the side door. The house was already dark, but I heard voices in the kitchen. Ellie was laughing. This weird, flirty laugh she only uses when she's trying to charm someone. Then I heard Eduardo. Now, I'm not usually the jealous type. I assumed they were just talking. But something felt off. So I stayed quiet, stood in the shadows of the hallway, and just listened. That's when I heard Ellie talking about the plan and how it had to look like an accident. Eduardo asked if she was sure about the timing. Ellie replied clear as day. "Once the insurance pays out for his accident next month, you and I can finally be together." Then the clink of wine glasses. They were celebrating my planned death. I felt numb, like my brain just glitched. I didn't freak out. I didn't yell. I just walked back out the door and sat in my car, breathing, processing. My wife was planning to kill me for $500,000 with the damn neighbor. I didn't go back inside until it was dark. I stopped at a gas station, picked up some flashlights and snacks, then made plenty of noise when I came home, called her name like everything was normal. She replied from the kitchen, voice all bright and weird. I walked in, acting casual. Saw 2 wine glasses on the table. Eduardo looked guilty. Ellie faked surprise like, "Oh, you're home early?" I lied and said my friend canceled on me. Handed them flashlights like I was just being helpful. Eduardo mumbled something about checking if we had power, and I offered him a beer. Watching him squirm while saying no was oddly satisfying. Weirdest 2 hours of my life followed, just sitting by candlelight chatting like nothing had happened, when I knew she wanted me dead. She kept checking her phone, texting someone, no doubt Eduardo. She'd changed into that blue top I always say looks nice, wore her special perfume. Not for me, for him. Over the next few days I paid attention. Ellie was suddenly working late a lot. Her phone had a new passcode. She kept asking when I'd be out, if I had any solo trips coming. Some days she was weirdly sweet, other times, totally distant, total sketch behavior. Then I checked her browser history. Undetectable poisons. Make death look like accident. Life insurance payout timeline? Not even subtle, like cartoon villain levels of obvious. Found out they were chatting through some encrypted app, too. I couldn't read the messages, but notifications kept popping up. Meanwhile, Ellie barely spoke to me, except to ask about the fishing trip next month. The one she's always hated me going on, but now suddenly insists I should take. Then last weekend, I knocked over her purse and saw a small bottle inside. No label. Definitely not vitamins. She grabbed it so fast it nearly flew out of my hands, then got super defensive. Final straw? Yesterday. I faked a shower and overheard her on the phone. She was saying, "It has to look natural. We have to stick to the timeline. The fishing trip is perfect. Accidents happen all the time out there." So here I am. My wife is trying to kill me for a payout. I haven't told anyone because who the hell would believe me? Part of me still doesn't. But I'm not just sitting back. I've been gathering proof. Screenshots of her search history, pictures of the bottle, recordings. Moved most of the money to an account she can't touch. Told the bank I suspect. Fraud. Technically true. Seeing a lawyer tomorrow, quietly. I bought hidden cameras, installed around the house. She doesn't know. I'm playing dumb while she digs her own hole. Could I just confront her? Sure. Could I leave? Yeah. But after 8 years together, after she planned my death like it was a weekend chore? No. I want real consequences. For her and Eduardo. I'm done being the nice guy. For now, I'm pretending to go along with her little game, while I build my own. Chess, not checkers. That belt was exactly what I needed. He gave me some real advice that stuck. Keep records, protect my finances, and gather solid proof. I mean, I knew it already, but having a professional confirm I wasn't just imagining things actually helped more than I thought. First move? Money. We had around $16K sitting in our joint savings. Not a ton, but it's what was left after. Buying the house and fixing that basement flood last year. I couldn't just pull it all out, too obvious. So I made up a story. I told Ellie I had a gambling addiction. Sounds wild, I know, but stick with me. I confessed to secret online gambling for months and said I'd already lost a few grand. Told her I wanted help, was joining a support group, the whole thing. I even whipped up some fake betting history in Photoshop, thanks YouTube tutorials. She totally believed it. Even rubbed my back and said we'd get through it together. Barimadia. Award-level acting, especially for someone plotting my murder. The beauty of that lie? It explains every odd financial move. I moved nearly all our savings to a new account and left just enough so she wouldn't suspect anything. Told her it was to stop myself from relapsing. Even pitched the idea of separate accounts for a bit. She loved it. Probably thinking how easy things would be once I was out of the picture. Next step, wedge time. I had to create friction between Ellie and Eduardo. A relationship is like a machine. Looks complex, but you can mess with each part. Eduardo gets super jealous when Ellie chats with other guys. I saw it happen at our neighbor's cookout when she talked to the host, so I started casually dropping names of guys when I talked to Ellie, like some coworker texting her about a project. All innocent on the surface, but I'd time it so Eduardo might overhear or so she might bring it up to him. Then I accidentally texted Eduardo something meant for Ellie, told her how good she looked in that outfit from her non-existent meetup with a friend. Deleted it right away and said, "Oops, wrong person." But the damage was done. His NP reply felt ice cold. You could hear the doubt. For Ellie, I started planting money-related doubts about Eduardo. Threw in random stuff like, "Hey, I heard his business isn't doing so hot," or, "Did you know he's behind on HOA payments?" Total lies, but they planted little seeds of doubt. Weirdly, watching them squirm has been kind of satisfying. I'm not usually like this. I don't enjoy messing with people. But when they're planning to kill you, the game changes. My cameras picked up some good footage too. They're still set on doing it during my fishing trip, but now there's tension. One clip had Ellie asking Eduardo about some woman always commenting on his posts. He got super defensive. Another showed them arguing over money. Apparently, Eduardo wants a bigger cut than she's offering. Trouble in murder paradise. I've been saving every screenshot, clip, voice memo. Everything. Even recorded myself opening a sketchy, unmarked bottle from Ellie's purse with gloves on. It had some kind of powder in it. I sent a bit off for lab testing by mail. Should get results next week. Meanwhile, my lawyer told me to start building a pattern of weird accidents. So I've been acting like bad luck is following me. Told Ellie I nearly fell down the stairs with laundry. Showed up one day with a scraped arm. Said I swerved to dodge a cat. Nothing major, but just enough to make them nervous that I might die before they can finish the job. The way Ellie's face changes, half worried, half annoyed, like she's scared I'll ruin their perfect little plan by dying early. Then I launched Operation Financial Mayhem. Noticed a few suspicious charges on our card, so I called the bank right in front of Ellie, pretending I thought it was identity theft. Got all our cards shut down and replaced. That 3-day freeze freaked her out. She was glued to her phone, texting Eduardo nonstop. I've never seen someone so anxious about not using a credit card for a weekend. Also, casually dropped a hint to our neighbor, who happens to be tight with Eduardo's ex, that I was considering real estate investing and heard Eduardo might know a thing or two. Mentioned we've been seeing a lot of him lately, especially when I'm not around. The way her eyes lit up, I knew that gossip was going to spread fast. See, my plan isn't just to mess with them emotionally, it's to build my safety net, while turning up the heat on them so they get sloppy. Took a random day off last Wednesday. Didn't tell Ellie. Parked a few blocks away and just watched. Sure enough, Eduardo came over an hour after I'd normally leave for work. Stayed for 3 hours. I got everything on camera. Later, checked my home security. Yep, more timeline talk. Eduardo looked stressed. Ellie told him everything would be fine after next month. That's when I threw a wrench in it. I told Ellie I was canceling the fishing trip. Said my brother broke his ankle, he didn't. We'd push the trip back. Her face went ghost white. She actually tried to convince me to go alone, said I deserved some solo time. This from the woman who's hated every fishing trip I've taken for years. Suddenly she can't wait to get me on that lake? Giant red flag. The mind games are working. She's slipping. Left her phone unlocked yesterday. I saw a text to Eduardo. We need a new plan. Money's becoming a problem. I also found receipts in her email. Sketchy stuff like an untraceable phone and a keylogger. Amateur hour. But the biggest move? I vanished for 48 hours. Didn't say a word. No calls, no texts. Just disappeared. Stayed at a cheap motel in the next town with my phone off and paid in cash. From their side, I might have been lying dead in a ditch. Cameras caught everything. Ellie panicking, calling Eduardo, the two of them tearing the house apart, checking my socials, even calling hospitals. Not because they cared. They were freaking out that I died before they could cash in. Eduardo kept saying, this wasn't part of the plan. Ellie was stressing about the insurance. Turns out, you need a body to collect. I came back Sunday night like nothing happened. Told Ellie I needed a break, went camping solo. Her face was priceless, a mix of relief, anger, and total confusion. She tried to play mad, but I could see the gears turning in her head. That night, I heard her whispering in the bathroom. Our walls are thin. She said stuff like, he's acting weird. Might know something. We need to move faster. So here's the status. I've locked down our money. I've got proof they're plotting. I've turned them against each other. And Ellie still thinks I'm completely in the dark, but I'm just getting started. Phase 2 begins tomorrow. I canceled the life insurance policy they were banking on. It's official. Paperwork went through yesterday. Ellie has no idea yet. Can't wait to see her reaction. I also asked Eduardo to grab drinks. Yep, that's right. Told him we should bond since he's around so much. He couldn't say no without looking shady. Plan is to get him tipsy, see what slips out. Maybe even drop a hint about Ellie seeing other people. As for the fishing trip? Oh, I'm going. Just not the way they expect. I'll keep updating. And don't worry about me. I lock my door, make my own meals, and have a friend checking on me every day. These two weren't some genius criminals, just a bored housewife and a desperate guy who thought they were way smarter than they actually were. Final update, Reddit. A bunch of you have been asking if I'm still breathing, what happened next, etc. Spoiler, I'm alive. And things? Oh, they escalated. Buckle up. This is gonna be a long one. So, that beer I mentioned with Eduardo, it went even better than I expected. We met at this grimy little bar downtown, sticky floors, cheap pitchers. I told Ellie I was meeting my gambling support group. She encouraged me to go, probably hoping I'd crash on the way back. Here's the thing. Eduardo can't hold his liquor. 3 beers in, he's slurring, getting emotional, crying about his divorce, being broke, how life's unfair. I just played dumb, kept the drinks coming. By beer 5, I casually asked if he noticed Ellie seemed stressed lately. That's when it got wild. He mumbled something about how plans change and people lie, then dropped a bomb. Ellie had been talking to her ex again. Said she was keeping her options open. He was clearly pissed, feeling betrayed. I acted shocked, asked some more questions. Meanwhile, my phone was recording everything in my pocket. Then I tested him. I brought up our life insurance, said I might cancel it because of the high premiums and my gambling debt. His whole vibe shifted, eyes widened. Suddenly, he's going on about how insurance is super important and I should definitely keep it. Then he changed the subject. Amateur hour. When I got home, Ellie was waiting up, asked about my night. I said it was great. And oh, by the way, I ran into Eduardo. Mentioned he seemed upset about some woman messing with him. Her face? Like someone just told her the brakes were out on her car. Next morning, things started popping off. I accidentally left an email open about the life insurance cancellation. When I came back from my shower, Ellie was making breakfast. Hands, shaking a little. I asked if she was okay. She mumbled something about a headache. Right. That same day, I found sketchy charges on our last joint account. With Ellie right next to me, I called the bank. Put on a big show about someone stealing our info. Account? Frozen. Investigation pending. Ellie? Pale and panicking, though she tried to play it cool. Asked how long it would take. I said, days, maybe weeks. They have to verify all those recent withdrawals. Things really turned when I got a call from the lab testing that white powder from Ellie's purse. Not poison, but crushed heavy-duty sleeping pills. Prescription stuff. So I guess they planned to knock me out before staging an accident. Ellie was in the room when I got the call. I pretended it was about a job app, but repeated test results and sample confirmed loud enough for her to hear. She went ghost white. Meanwhile, I'd anonymously tipped off Eduardo's job about possible ethical issues. Got a panic text from him asking if Ellie had said anything about his work. I played dumb. Later that night, heard Ellie on the phone with him. Something about an internal review and him needing to stay calm. Hidden cameras caught her pacing, telling him they had to pause everything. Then I pulled out the big guns. Left. Another accidental laptop screen open, this time with a draft email to a divorce lawyer. Detailed everything. Affair, insurance, powder, suspicions. Made sure it looked unsent, like I was still collecting evidence. Then I turned on phone location sharing and visited my real lawyer. Made sure Ellie could see I was at a law office. That night, she went full damage control, made my favorite dinner, picked the movie I'd been wanting to see, even tried to initiate sex for the first time in months. Her phone kept buzzing. She ignored it. Eduardo, losing it. Next day, I dropped the hammer. Told Ellie I knew about the affair. Not the murder plot, just the cheating. Said I'd seen the texts and noticed Eduardo always came by when I was gone. Said I wanted a divorce. She broke down, admitted to the affair but claimed it was over. Said Eduardo was blackmailing her for money and she'd been trying to cut him off. She begged, cried, played the victim. Not a word about the actual murder, setup. I told her I needed space and asked her to go stay with her sister. She left, and the second she did, I sent Eduardo a carefully edited clip from my hidden cams, just the parts where Ellie said he was unstable and threatening her. Made it look like she totally blamed him. His response? A flood of texts, calling. Her names, accusing her of being the mastermind. Said she promised him they'd split everything after it was done. He didn't say the word murder, but it was close enough. I saved it all. With them imploding, I went for the win. Filed for divorce citing infidelity, froze the rest of our assets, changed the locks, the house is in my name, and cut Ellie off from everything. Eduardo? His job found actual shady stuff. He's suspended. His ex-wife heard rumors, filed to reopen their settlement, accused him of hiding assets. Whole thing's crashing down. You'd think it'd feel amazing. And yeah, part of it does. But it also feels empty. 8 years of marriage, ending in a pile of secrets and lies. Some nights, I still wonder how I missed the signs. Then, a few days ago, I found the final piece, a notebook behind Ellie's dresser. Pages of notes on my routines, possible accident scenarios, research on insurance policies and payout timelines, step-by-step plans for that fishing trip. Eduardo's roles spelled out clearly. I texted Ellie, told her to meet at a coffee shop. Public, cameras, witnesses. She looked awful, sleep-deprived, stressed, launched right into her victim speech. I let her go on for 5 minutes. Then I slid the notebook across the table. She went dead silent. Tried to say it was a writing project for a class. I didn't respond, just stared. Finally, I told her I knew it all, from the very beginning. Every piece. Then I gave her 2 choices. I go to the cops with everything. Recordings, powder test, texts, that notebook. Or she signs the divorce papers right now. Non-negotiable. She gets her car, her stuff, and nothing else. No alimony, no assets, and she leaves town. She sat there frozen, then asked if I'd really known the whole time. I nodded. She started laughing, and then she signed. She laughed, that broken kind of laugh that's one step away from crying. Said she always thought I was too dumb to catch on. That's why they picked me. I was easy. Nice life insurance payout. Funny thing is, hearing her actually say it out loud should have hurt. But it didn't. I felt absolutely nothing. Like I was watching a stranger talk about someone else's life. She wasn't the woman I thought I married. Maybe she never was. She signed the divorce papers without even reading them, then asked if I'd really turn her in if she refused. I didn't say a word, just gave her a look. That was enough. As she walked out, she paused, turned back, and asked how long I'd known. I told her, since the power outage. She just shook her head, mumbled something about how things could have been different, and walked away. Eduardo didn't get off easy either. I sent him photos of the notebook pages, along with a short message. Leave town, or I go to the police. No reply. He put his house up for sale the next morning. So here we are. Divorce is in motion. The house is finally quiet. Their lives? Completely wrecked. Me? I'm not great, but I'm still standing. Still here. For those still wondering about the powder, it came back from the lab as a massive dose of sedatives. Enough to knock someone out cold. Would have made it real easy to fake a drowning on that fishing trip they were planning. Right now, Ellie's crashing at some friend's place a couple towns away. No job, no cash, and her name's trash after. I accidentally told our mutual friends about the affair. The murder part? That stays between us for now. Eduardo's trying to unload his house, and his career's basically over. His ex-wife's going after him in court again, reopening. Their divorce. Call it karma. I've started seeing a therapist. Turns out finding out your wife wanted you dead kind of messes with your head. Who would have guessed? I even downloaded a dating app last week. Grabbed coffee with someone. Nothing major, just nice to know there are still normal people out there. The truth is, I'm not the same guy I was before all this. I'm more guarded, less trusting, but also stronger. Like a rebuilt engine after it completely blew up. Same machine, new parts, maybe even running better now. Some of you asked if I regret not going to the cops. Honestly, sometimes. But that route would have been messy, public, and there's no telling if either of them would have actually gone to jail. This way, they lost everything that ever mattered to them. Money, respect, stability, while I get to quietly start over. Life's strange. One blackout changed everything. If I'd come home at my usual time that night, I might not even be alive right now. I'd probably be floating somewhere in a lake while Ellie collected my life insurance. Instead, I'm sitting, here, beer in hand, writing this final update to a bunch of strangers on the internet who've somehow been my lifeline through all this chaos. Sometimes revenge doesn't need to be loud or complicated. Sometimes it's just making people live with what they've done while you keep moving forward. That's it. No more updates. Chapter closed. Time for something new.